What the hell is up, guys? It is the slowest rider this side of the Mississippi, son. Sorry. Let me turn this down so I can think. Wow. Yeah, so I did something interesting this week. I, after almost 2 years, took the MSF course. But, yeah, so I just wanted to talk about it. Let's see. Nah. Just give me a second. Give me a second. Let me cook, chat. Let me cook. Oh! Okay. I'm gonna just ride around for a second. Yeah, I realized I need to work on throttle control just in general, not even like for specifically for wheelies. I mean, it will help. Let me fucking pause this music. I can't hear music and talk at the same time. But yeah, so I took the MSF course and it was actually pretty cool. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it fucking sucked. Don't get me wrong, because like, especially the first day. The first day, I guess I'm gonna title this video "What to Expect When Taking the MSF Course." So if you're watching this video right now and you're like, you haven't bought a motorcycle yet, or you're like, you just bought a motorcycle but you feel like you should go take the MSF course, I'm gonna say I encourage that behavior. Let's see if I can make this without dying. Don't mind me. Let's see. This all might be wet. That's why you get a Grom, folks. I want a supermoto. But this is a Z125, by the way. Anywho. Alright, I'm just gonna like cut that whole last part out. Basically, day one, they're getting you up to speed. Day two, they're teaching you like maneuvers and how to, like, you know, fucking do that shit. They'll run you through a bunch of drills. That is a really clean little truck right there. Yeah, they're gonna run you through a bunch of drills and basically get you comfortable being on a motorcycle. Now, there's 6 of us in the class. 4 of us had experience, 2 of us didn't, and one of those was like a little Filipino girl. I mean, she was like probably older than me. She was in her late 20s, but yeah, so the first day she looked really rough, but by the end of the second day she was like looked a lot more comfortable. And so, I mean, they do a good job at like catering to you, especially if you need help. Like the specific school I went to, if you're in Houston or something, or like in the nearby areas, I'd recommend they're called Safe on Two Wheels. I'll put it somewhere on the screen. But am I recording? Yeah. Alright. Dude, I hit a bird earlier. I don't know what the fuck the bird's problems are, but I hit a bird with this, and it was like a little finch. And I turned around, he's just like all on the ground. All the other birds are like trying to like revive him. They're trying to res him, as the kids would say. All the Fortnite kids would say. And I went back, and then he just got up and flew away. And I was like, okay, I guess that's cool. But yeah, so if you have like 0 experience, it's gonna be a little tough, especially if you've never used like a manual vehicle before, much less a fucking like motorcycle, because like it's a lot to learn all in like one day. But they did a good job. They ended up putting on a Navi, which is an automatic, but like she was doing good with the clutch, but they just had her on a Honda Rebel. She was like really short. She was probably like 4'11", dude. She was tiny. And so she couldn't fit on the other bikes, and the Rebel was too heavy for her. Like, she dropped it, and so they ended up putting her onto the Navi. But she was fine with the clutch. Like, she was doing pretty good before they switched her over. But what I would recommend, they'll tell you to loading thoughts. Bring a long sleeve shirt, pants, and over the ankle shoes. So everyone just had boots on. I would recommend, if it's not going to be a day like this where it's overcast all day, and especially if it's the summer, like it was 95 degrees and sunny, I wore a fishing shirt, like the Columbia long sleeve fishing shirt, and that really helped because you will just be sitting there in a parking lot baking in the sun all day. So I recommend doing that. Probably brings a lot of water. They'll have water for you. Well, if they're like a half decent school, they'll have water for you. But I just recommend bringing, like, one dude brought a cooler, and that's pretty cool. But yeah, the instructor at this place, Safe on Two Wheels, he had a lot of experience, and you know, he was very passionate about, you know, rider safety, and like it really like showed through the course. But one thing I will say, it will not prepare you for going out on the street. It will just basically teach you how to use the clutch, how to maneuver, and like do like slow speed maneuvers, and that's about it. Like, I don't think they can like legally take you out on the street or whatever, which makes sense, especially if you have no experience. But look at that cat, it's chilling. Hopefully the wind noise wasn't too bad. I really don't want to go out on the main road, but I kind of ran out of shit to do, so. And this is not the Ducati, so I can't just fucking yoink out in the traffic. Like, there's a lot of shit that you will not learn from the MSF course that you will only learn in like real world scenarios. One thing I did appreciate is they really like had a lot of drills with hard braking and emergency braking, which I feel is important, because I don't know, me, like, progressive braking just clicked for me while like I taught myself how to do all this shit. And there's like a lot of guys, even the experienced guys, were, you know, stopping really fucking slow. Like, I was the only one that was like stopping in like a proper amount of time. Like, I maxed out my fucking stopping distance. Alright, we're back. As you can see, I teleported to a new place in time and space. Oh, dude, I might go over there. Fuck around. Alright, we'll see. It rained a lot last night. As you can tell, this is a pond. But yeah, essentially, I can't remember where I left off. But, I'm definitely throwing these away. But I will show you what the test will consist of. So what I would recommend, if you have like no experience, try to find someone with a bike. That may be hard. You may be like the only one you know that like wants to like start getting into motorcycles. But if that's the case, then I mean, you might just have to take the course. And maybe you can try this on a bicycle. I'm not sure. Some of it will translate, but like essentially I feel like the mechanics of pedaling is some like apples to oranges to like the mechanics of like hitting the throttle, because you're not moving your legs, obviously. So that may be like the key difference. But what they're going to test you on, the test consists of like 5 things, and it's going to start off, let me see, the first one, they're going to start you off like everyone in a line. They kind of just like randomly pick who the fuck is going first. but they're gonna have like a cone like every like 10 feet, right? It'll go probably about 20 feet, and then it'll be like a cone, a cone, a cone, a cone, a cone. There's like 5 or 6 cones, and they're like, I think 10-foot spacing, and then you're just gonna have to go and then just swerve through the cones, right? So this is where like throttle control and clutch control come into play. You're just gonna have to swerve in a straight line, right? A maneuver. As you can see, you can hear the RPM shooting up. I don't have great throttle control. I'm kind of stiff. That's one thing I really need to work on. As I was saying, like that was like one of my biggest flaws, was my lack of throttle control. But so that'll be the first test. Pretty straightforward. Just don't hit the cones. Don't put your foot down to like catch yourself, and you'll pass. Right. So almost everyone did that flawlessly, right? So the first, there's 5. So the second one was the most difficult one, right? Like honestly, the swerving one's kind of hard, but basically you'll start off like this, and then they'll have like a little tight box, and then you'll have to make, it's gonna be hard for me because my knees hit the fucking bars. So on this bike, they had KTM Dukes, which is essentially like the same style of bike. Everything's the same except for it's taller. It's like a full-size bike. So I'd recommend, that's a good starter bike. Duke, they had Duke 200s, but if you get like a Duke 390, like anything up in there, it should be fine. But they'll have you start off, they're like, you see the path of travel, you say yes, and then you go, and then you just make a right turn, and then you go to this box. Oh, there's sand everywhere. And you have to make a U-turn, a left-hand U-turn in a 20-foot box, which doesn't sound hard, but on like a bigger bike, it actually is kind of difficult. It's about yay big. Honestly, dude, if I had a Grom, I would have fucking been even more comfortable. If I had a small bike like this. But you just modulate your rear brake. So the tip for that is use your rear brake. So in slow speed stuff, the rear brake will help you keep your balance, right? So you can go really slow. Like, let's see how slow I can go and just stay straight up. So I got the clutch pulled in. It says 0, so it's probably about like 2 miles an hour. 1. I am like, you know, just, so point of me saying that is, I would recommend before you go take that course, just to like as insurance, is if you have a friend, especially with a small bike like this, or that will let you use their bike, a dirt bike, whatever it is, even like a Suron or what, like an e-bike, as long as it has like a rear brake and a throttle, like you'll be good. Like, let's see if I can. Okay, didn't quite get that one, but yeah, I would recommend just going to an empty parking lot or someplace like this where no one's around. You won't be stressed out. You won't be a danger to yourself or anyone else. And you just go and you just practice slow speed stuff. Practice tight, slow U-turns, circles, you know, and like swerving. So they have that one. That one was the hardest one. I almost, like, if you go to do the U-turn and you either go outside the box or you put your foot down to catch yourself, you failed that section. So how they grade you is they grade you by points. So if you get 0 points, that's good. That means you didn't mess up at all. So I passed everything. I had a perfect score at a 0. There's another guy, he got 1 point off. But so they'll do that, and then those 2. So now we go 3. So 3 is the braking test. So they have you just go in a straight line. You start from a stop, right? They have 2 little cones you stop in, or like a box or whatever, and you start there, and then they want you to pick up speed. They want you to go between 12 and 18 miles an hour. On this thing, it'd be hard, so it's probably from about here to that second line, so I'm gonna stop there. So you're gonna go, they're gonna be like, all right, you ready? And then you're like, yes, and then you just go, and you have to emergency brake. I think it was emergency brake. Yeah. It was emergency brake. So then you go and you have to pick up speed. So you're like, whamp. This bike doesn't have ABS, so I skid. But you just have to brake. So I started braking, as you can see, at that line, right? So it took me that far to stop from. I'll look back in the fucking video and see how fast I was going. But that's what they'll test you on. They don't tell you how like short of a distance you have to stop. They know what they're looking for. They have like lines set up, but like you don't know until after the test like how you did. They'll give you a free retrial on that one. They'll just like add points or whatever. But so they'll do that, and then the 4th test is you'll go from a stop. Like there's a couple little things I missed, but those are like essentially what the meat of the test is. So they'll have you stop in a box, and then they'll have 2 little cones and then 2 wide cones offset to the right. So it'll be like 2 little cones, and then the outside cone you're gonna have to swerve. So 2 little cones and then 2 wide cones. So let's just use my imagination right here. So you're going, and then you gotta whoosh, swerve like that. It looks more difficult, but when you go to do it, you're like, oh, okay. Like you realize you have more room than you think. And they want you again to go between 12 and 18 miles an hour. They'll add points if you're not going fast enough, but you'll get a free retry. Like they won't fail you. So that one, you have to get enough speed and you have to swerve without hitting the cones. So I'd do that. I'd set up cones and then just practice swerving, you know. So when you push down on your left or right, that will initiate the lean. And then you want to keep your body kind of upright and let the bike, let me see if I can capture this, like, so obviously the camera's on my freaking helmet. So you want to keep your body somewhat upright and let the bike move away from you when you do the swerve. So I'm swerving left. And it takes a minute, especially when you're going slower. It's weird. The mechanics of it feel like really weird. Like when you're going faster, it feels more natural. Like, let's see. Yeah. So I practiced that. So that was 4. What was the last one, bro? I can't. The last one was really easy. It was so easy that like, oh, it was a curve. So they have a curve set up, and then you just essentially have to go around the curve. And then what they really stress to you is turning your whole fucking head to look where you're going. And it pissed me off because I normally don't ride like that. I just kind of slightly turn and look with my eyes. But they're like, no, point your nose to where you want to go. So right here, I want to go left. I look left. You don't look fucking where you're going. I can't see at least. And they're like, your peripherals will pick it up. I'm like, bro, like my fucking helmet just fucks that up. But either way, so the last one, yeah, it's just you go around. It's like a peanut shape. And they want you to get good entry speed, about 20 miles an hour. And then slow down, initiate the turn, go through the turn without running wide or too narrow. Don't hit the lines. They'll have it marked out clearly. But that's about it. I mean, it's kind of nerve-wracking when you're there because you're like, fuck, if I fail this, I'm gonna have to dedicate another 2 days and spend all this, like another $250 to fucking do this shit. But that's why it's sputtering. I'm in 3rd gear. But yeah, guys, hopefully that helped. Me personally, I think the route I went, where I got my bike first and taught myself at my own pace, really helped out a lot. Like, obviously I'm not perfect, there's a lot of room for improvement, but that's what worked for me. I'm not a, like, como se dice, like, instinctually, I was like, I picked this up pretty quickly. This is where I looped the other day. But yeah, guys, if that helped, I'm glad, because like, I didn't know what to expect when I went to the MSF course. Like, I watched some videos and they're like, just get cones and go around cones. And yeah, I guess that's kind of helpful, but like, no one really tells you what the test is, you know? Maybe it's different state to state, but in Texas, that's what we did, so. Whoo! Alright, that got real low. But yeah, guys, if you got value out of this video, give me a thumbs up, you know? Follow my journey. I'm a little tiny baby channel. Alright, guys, I'm just out here. I'm just having fun, dude. I know little channels are kind of like cringy and like stupid and gay and stuff, but like, you know, at the end of the day, I'm doing this for fun. If it gets traction, that'd be really awesome sauce. I'd really enjoy that. That's a lot of sand. But yeah, I'd really appreciate if you know, subscribed or at least liked the video, you know. I get subscribing. I'm not like a big guy who subscribes to every YouTuber ever. I just go off recommended, and then I'll just like search them up if I want to watch someone's specific videos. But yeah, at least just like it or comment it. If you don't like this, or you feel like, if you have questions of like anything else that I didn't cover, just feel free to ask me in the comments, and I'll get back to you as much as possible. I'm like probably on YouTube, like checking my stuff like once or twice a week, so it might take a minute because I do it on my laptop, and I'm like rarely on my laptop, honestly. I edit the videos and I post them, and then I forget about it for like a couple days, and then I post another video. But yeah, guys, if you have any questions, or you want to tell me I'm stupid, I'm a loser, or whatever, dude, it's a free country, you know, we have freedom of speech, it's the internet, you know. These are nice little houses, dude, I like these. Yeah, feel free to drop in the comments below. Alright, guys, hope you have a blessed evening, morning, afternoon, whatever it may be. Peace.